Have you ever canceled plans at the last minute? Not because you were sick, but because staying at home simply felt better? Maybe you've been called lazy, antisocial, or boring just because you prefer a quiet evening on your couch over a crowded party. But what if I told you that loving your home isn't necessarily a personality flaw? In fact, psychology suggests that for many people, staying at home is deeply connected to the way their brain processes stress, energy, emotions, and social interaction. The desire to stay indoors isn't always about avoiding life. Sometimes it's about protecting your mental energy. Today, we're exploring the fascinating psychology behind people who genuinely love staying at home, and why science says there's much more to this behavior than most people realize. Modern society often celebrates constant activity. Social media is filled with vacations, parties, concerts, and crowded restaurants. It can seem as though happiness only exists outside the front door. But human psychology tells a much more complicated story. While some people feel energized by social events and busy environments, others feel emotionally drained after spending too much time around large groups. Neither reaction is wrong. They're simply different ways that human brains respond to stimulation. One of the biggest reasons some people enjoy staying at home is personality. Psychologists describe a personality trait known as introversion. Introverts are often misunderstood as people who dislike others, but that's not what introversion really means. Instead, introverts tend to recharge their mental energy through quiet environments rather than highly stimulating ones. After a long day of conversations, meetings, or crowded places, their brain often craves silence instead of more interaction. Home becomes the perfect place to recover. Scientists believe this difference is partly connected to how the brain responds to stimulation. Some brains naturally seek excitement, while others become overwhelmed by too much noise, movement, or social activity. For people who are more sensitive to stimulation, home offers something incredibly valuable: predictability. At home, they control the noise, the lighting, the schedule, and the environment. That sense of control helps reduce mental fatigue. From an evolutionary perspective, humans have always searched for safe places. Ancient people built shelters not only to protect themselves from predators and harsh weather, but also to create spaces where the brain could finally relax. Safety has always been one of the brain's highest priorities. Even today, your home often represents security, familiarity, and comfort. When you close your front door, your nervous system receives signals that many outside threats have been removed. Another reason people enjoy staying home is decision fatigue. Every time you leave the house, your brain processes countless decisions. Where should you go? What should you wear? How should you behave? What will other people think? Should you respond to every conversation? Each small decision consumes mental energy. At home, many of these demands disappear. The brain gets a chance to rest from constant social calculations. Many home-loving people are also highly creative. Writers, artists, programmers, researchers, musicians, and readers often produce their best work in peaceful environments with minimal interruptions. Creativity requires concentration, and concentration is difficult when the brain is constantly reacting to noise and distractions. A quiet home provides the mental space needed for imagination to flourish. Psychologists have also found that solitude and loneliness are not the same thing. Loneliness is the painful feeling of lacking meaningful connection. Solitude, however, is the healthy choice to spend time alone. Many people who love staying home are not lonely at all. They enjoy their own company, pursue hobbies, read books, watch documentaries, learn new skills, or simply appreciate moments of silence. For them, being alone feels peaceful rather than empty. Home also gives people a greater sense of emotional regulation. During stressful periods, familiar surroundings can lower anxiety and help the nervous system recover. Favorite furniture, personal belongings, family members, pets, and daily routines all create a feeling of stability. The brain naturally associates familiar environments with safety because it already understands what to expect there. Technology has made staying home even more rewarding than in the past. People can work remotely, learn online, watch movies, exercise, communicate with friends, order groceries, and explore the world without leaving their living room. As a result, Staying home no longer means disconnecting from life. For many people, it simply means experiencing life differently. However, psychologists also warn that there is an important difference between enjoying home and avoiding life. Choosing to stay home because it brings peace and happiness is generally healthy. But staying home because of overwhelming fear, severe anxiety, or an inability to face everyday situations may indicate a deeper psychological challenge that deserves attention. The motivation behind the behavior matters far more than the behavior itself. Society sometimes pressures people to believe that outgoing personalities are more successful or happier. Yet research consistently shows that well-being depends less on how social someone is and more on whether their lifestyle matches their personality. An extrovert forced into isolation may feel miserable. An introvert forced into constant social activity may feel equally exhausted. Happiness often comes from living in a way that fits your natural psychological needs rather than someone else's expectations. Interestingly, many people discovered this about themselves during periods when they spent more time at home. Without constant social obligations, they realized they enjoyed cooking, gardening, reading, exercising, creating art, playing with pets, or simply spending quiet evenings with family. They weren't escaping life. They were discovering the environment where they felt most emotionally balanced. This doesn't mean home lovers never enjoy going outside. Most appreciate travel, friendships, and meaningful experiences just like anyone else. The difference is that they usually value quality over quantity. Instead of seeking constant activity, they prefer experiences that genuinely matter. A peaceful walk, a conversation with a close friend, or a relaxing evening at home may feel far more satisfying than a loud party filled with strangers. At its core, loving home reflects one of the brain's oldest priorities: the search for safety, comfort, and emotional balance. For some people, home is more than a building. It's a place where the mind can finally stop scanning for stress, the body can relax, and the heart can recover from the demands of the outside world. So the next time someone says, "You spend too much time at home," remember this: choosing peace over noise doesn't automatically make someone antisocial. Preferring quiet over chaos isn't weakness. And enjoying your own space isn't something that needs to be fixed. Sometimes, the strongest sign of psychological health is simply knowing where your mind feels most at peace. After all, in a world that never seems to slow down, perhaps the greatest luxury isn't going everywhere. It's having a place where your mind truly feels at home.